All right, welcome to another edition. Welcome to another edition of the Webcomic Beacon here at webcomicbeacon.com, part of the Webcast Beacon network at webcastbeacon.com. As you probably noticed with the other episode, the basically all but the end episode of the Webcomic Beacon, we had a great reunion show with Tanya Higgins and Mark Savory and Eric Kimball. Really fantastic episode. Had a lot of fun, but you know, it just is not going to be the same as it used to be. So, don't want to just completely get away with throw out the Webcomic Beacon name. It's been around for over 6 years. So I'm going to attempt to see if I could use the name now to do comic reviews. I've already started writing some reviews and comic of the weeks on the website at webcastbeacon.com, which are also going to be posted at the adjacent webcomiczee.com, which I am, again, still hoping to update in some manner. But also with this new change, with this 2014 here, I wanted to do one last comic book giveaway. And with that, these are, at least 4 of these, are comics that I had long promised to review, and too many excuses, which it's just not called for anymore. So, these are probably going to be short episodes. The next 4 weeks, there will be a different review, as well as ways that people can enter, and it's basically going to be this sort of Twitter and Tumblr reblog retweet sort of thing, in which I basically go through the retweets if I can look at who retweeted them. Otherwise, if you're on Tumblr and you reblog it, I can easily go and find that as well. So there'll be some sort of post specifically for that, in which I would like people to retweet or reblog a particular post. It'd be either the contest itself, or it'd be with the last episode of the Webcomic Beacon, just to get a little bit more eyes back onto the site, check it out, and also check out these particular comics that I'll be reviewing that are going to be for the giveaway. And so only 4 I'm going to be reviewing, but I shall go over what the giveaway is going to entail. It will, the comics that will be reviewed, Twisted Peel, Black Snow, I'm Famous, and Catching Lucifer's Lunch. The ones, yeah, here I'm back. The ones that will not be reviewed, and just some that I'll be giving away. So for those that know that I work with Ardra, so the first issue of Ardra, When Casting Calls, the Jenny Everywhere comic, those will be thrown in here, as well as several comics that were submitted by Julie Sador. A Song from the Raven Planet, Custard on Chinchilla Island, and A Parent's Guide to Clown Safety. Some of the more higher profile comics I have to give away, well, a mix. So, Jess Finks, We Can Fix It, awesome comic. Let's see, Book 1 of Fun Day Morning, The Neighbors Have 2 Flamingos. The out-of-print Side A and Side B musically inclined artists anthologies, basically. So these are basically out of print, or they're really hard to find, especially Side A. Both of these are going to be going to the first prize winner, and that's right, there are going to be at least one main prize winner that'll get all of this, and then second and third place will get only a couple of these, like the Ardra, Jenny Everywhere, the Julie Sador comics. Everyone will also get, the top 3 winners will be getting a copy of Poorcraft, written by Spike and drawn by my friend Diana Knock. So it's a pretty awesome comic book on living well on less. And I also have a couple of copies of Volumes 1 and Volumes 2 of Family Bones. Now, I haven't actually officially reviewed this, but I really like this. And he had long since donated a bunch of books to us, so I still have a few left, and I'm going to use these in the last giveaway as well. So, with that, we are going to be reviewing the first of the 4 comics that I had long since promised to review, and we're going to get to that now. Twisted Peel by Peter Roy. Now, okay, so this comic I was really worried about reviewing. I know I told people not to submit anything to the Webcomic Beacon if they weren't comfortable with getting negative reviews. My goal is not to do negative reviews. I don't go out with that specific goal, just to review. That being said, there was a reason we stopped doing reviews and impression of comics on the Webcomic Beacon, because just so many things that were being submitted were... Well, we didn't want to sound like we were being mean constantly. So I'm trying this again. Twisted Peel doesn't have a very good first impression, but here we go. Well, it's a print comic, so we're going to review the cover first. The cover is a big green field with letters spelling out Volume 1, Twisted Peel, a couple of characters. The characters are crudely drawn, you of course can see that. It doesn't give a good hint of what's inside. Not a very big fan of the stick and blob art, but I'm going to give this a shot. The cover is bright and clear, clearly stands out. So Twisted Peel by Peter Roy, I believe I've got a teleprompter over here to try to help me with these. So let's try that again. Twisted Peel is by Peter Roy, and I believe the creator hails from the UK, given some of the language in the book. Peel is the name of the main character, whom of which is also an analog for the creator. There's a couple of info pages on here that are sort of setting up the character and the creator. So this is leading into a self-expression comic. In the comic, there are several characters explained to us on the info pages that represent Peel's OCD and tinnitus as pixie characters. These are the thoughts in your head as personalized. Other real-world characters are used as Peter's outlook on various aspects of real life. How he sees how real life is towards himself, as well as how he laments it to be. The jokes in the comic mostly fail for me, mostly being that too simple joke that everybody has in their head at some point or another, the kind of jokes you might say to a friend in the moment when they are relevant, and then snarking about how really it's a bad joke. Those kinds of jokes I don't care for. Don't get me wrong, I used to make a lot of comics when I was a kid and use these almost same exact jokes. Thinking back, I just kind of feel embarrassed. For Twisted Peel, it feels very much like my first comic in that respect. With that, however, I do feel the pride that this creator has in this comic's creation. The fact that there is a print version of it with an ISBN number is very cool that this creator had the drive to simply go for it. And he has his own book. Of course, it's not all great, and I hope he didn't order a huge amount of these books. I have not said much about the art because, frankly, there's not much to say about the art. It's very amateur. The comic is not visually appearing. Which I have not said much about the art because, frankly, there's not much to say about the art. It's very amateur. The comic is not visually appealing, which means the writing needs to make up for it. However, as I already said, the writing is not that great either. Admittedly, there are a few comics in here that give me a small chuckle, and a few that are just lost on me, I think, specifically because the references are more European English-based and not American English-based. Aside from the art and the writing, I wanted to talk about the content construction. The margins... they're just way too big. There is way too much white space on here. 4 strips could have easily gone into here instead of just 3 or sometimes 2. I can only theorize why the format came out like this. There may have been many reasons for this and that. Like maybe he was unfamiliar with how to format, or maybe he was just trying to fill out the pages and print what he had. Still, at the end of the day, the formatting is not as tight as it should be, as it could have been. The other problem with the formatting is in the comics themselves. Too many times the dialogue does not follow the proper rules of delivery, meaning from, left to right and then top to bottom. We've all seen a comic page at some point where the dialogue is on the right. On the right is higher than the dialogue on the left, and it doesn't give a good, clear sense of who is supposed to say what first and what order. And it happens way too much in this comic, so it comes out very confusing that you only sort of get it after you've read it maybe a couple of times because you switch the order. So it's not a naturally flowing read. So I really don't mean to badger on this creator on the choices made in this comic. I really do appreciate self-expression comics like this. People just have to know that there really isn't much of a market for things like this. Journal comics have a little bit more, have more going for them because it's a little bit more involved in thought and more personal. I mean, something like this is really what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you to not to do it, just that, you're going to get better. So Peter, I hope that some of my review was helpful to you. I hope your next volumes or other projects just keep getting better, because if you keep at it, practice, write and draw every day. It's just not for everybody for mass consumption. So I'm a little worried about, if you lost a lot of money on these books, but I still appreciate that you had the drive and, the get to it attitude that you had to actually go out and do this. But Twisted Peel looks to be self-published, and you can find more at twistedpeel.com. And with that, I'm going to try to do these as videos, and then I'll be linking to the written review as well as the comic of the week. I'm going to try to bring back the comic of the week again. Had a little break for a while. Basically, looking for a brand new job. Long story short, I got a brand new job, and I really like it. I'm really excited. You can ask my girlfriend that I'm not a little mopey lump anymore, so that's great. I appreciate her being there for me. And she also got a new job too, so really exciting. So hopefully, I'm developing a plan to start more regular updates on the Webcast Beacon network, including Web Fiction World. Really exciting for me. Webcomic Beacon is basically going to be just reviews at this point. We'll see what goes on. Anybody has any ideas for anything on the site, feel free to email us at webcastbeacon@gmail.com, especially if you have an idea for a project which you want to head up. More than interested to hear what you've got. Let's see here. And all right. Comic of the week. I'm probably going to get this wrong. Cochlea and Eustacia, or Eustachia. Cochlea and Eustacia. I'm not sure. Okay. By Hans Rickheit, or Rickheit. Again, badgering names. It's easier when you just have to type it out and you don't have to say it. Yep. Let's see here. And as far as Cochlea and Eustacia, wow, just wow. If you want surreal combined with a slight aura that it must make sense in its own internal logic, well, you get it with Cochlea and Eustacia for sure. But does it have its own internal logic? The author says no. So there you go. Enjoy the ride, basically. And what a ride. I will call this comic fascinating. And the black and white line art is fabulous. Patient and meticulous. Each line looks like it was drawn with purpose and care. The visual spectacle of this comic is coupled by the clear pen stroke talent. For sure to check this comic out. It's at chromefetus.com. Keep in mind, this is not safe for work, nudity, violence, blood and guts, and whimsy. All right, so this is the first of 4 total specifically intended reviews that are going to be of comics that are going to be in the final Webcomic Beacon giveaway in the foreseeable future, at the very least. We'll see how things go. Next week will be a different comic from the pile of comics that will be given away to be reviewed, as well as a new comic of the week. So stay tuned, and see you next time.